The Podbreed Network is strictly for the small podcasts that are up and coming in the vast world of podcasting. Podbreed is made up of many diverse podcasts coming together to achieve the same goal of being the best damn podcast network on the planet. Find out more at podbreed.com.
This is T-Boz from TLC. You're listening to the X and Y Show. Hope you enjoy.
The opinions expressed on the X and Y Show are the sole opinions of the host. Please note, there is no intentional desire to offend any member of the listening audience. With that said, if you still feel offended, tough shit.
It's time for the X and Y Show. With your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y Show.
Oh yeah, sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y Show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings. Welcome to another segment of the XY Show. And I'm your host, Roosevelt. Forgive me, the show's a little late this week. I had a little debacle in my apartment. The AC broke. And it didn't break. It was it froze up. And when I called the maintenance, I had my AC set on program. You know, when you leave a certain time, it cuts on a certain temperature, and then, you know, it cuts the AC back on before I come home, so it'll be cool when I get here, you know. So apparently a lot of tenants don't use that because it's a complicated setting, and it confuses them. And obviously it confused his ass too. Because he was checking it, he was going up and down. And the way he was pressing the thermostat, I said, this motherfucker don't know what he don't know about the programming setting. So he said, I think it's the compressor. It's the compressor. I said, oh shit. You don't want to hear that. You know, the compressor, that's at least a week. They got to order a part. Coming from Taiwan or some shit, and then they got to arrange a time to put the motherfucker in. You don't want to hear that it's a bad compressor. So I was just thinking, like, I'm getting ready to sweat. But they gave me this portable ACs. They weren't that, well, I guess they weren't good. It kept the heat out. But it wasn't like a full AC, but it did keep the heat out. So they did their job. But, they're in the way. And they were kind of noisy, so I couldn't record. So that's why. Because I was sitting down to do my episode, and I heard this. What the fuck is that? And I looked over, and it was the portable AC. So I said, oh, shit, I can't record. So anyway, another guy came in today, and he realized, he actually knew about the programming setting, and he said, no, you good, man. It was just programmed, so that's why I wasn't coming on. So it confused the other guy. So that's cool. I was glad to hear that, because you don't want to hear it's a bad compressor. That's bad news. Even though I'm not paying for the shit, but still, it's you got to wait for it to come in. You got to wait for a time when they can put it in. And that's a pain in the ass. So anyway, so that's why I'm a little late, so forgive me for that. I was watching this segment somewhere on the internet about Scottie Pippen's ex-wife going with Michael Jordan's son. And everybody like keep talking about that shit. I just think it's interesting. I mean, personally, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I can care less. But I will admit that out of all the people that she can get with, she gets with her ex-husbands. They're not married anymore. Her ex-husband's her ex-husband's former teammate, son. Out of all the motherfuckers in the world, you know. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. Like I said, I don't give a fuck. That's them, and that's her life. You know, whatever. She fine. But you know, I want you to think about something. Now, if that was the other way around, like she knew Jordan's son since the time he was born, when he was a baby, right? And now she's with him, you know, I don't know how many years, but it's significant how many years she's older. Could you imagine if it was the other way around? Like the man got with Jordan's daughter. You know, a man like that was Jordan and Pippen's age got with, you know, one of their young daughters from, you know, he knew her since she was a baby. And now she's grown up. She's like in her 20s and he's in his 60s damn near. How would you think society would view that? I'm just pointing out there. Just something to think about. You know, it is a, you know, little double standard, but in a way that, you know, maybe if it was a man, maybe if it was the other way around, nobody won't be saying anything. But the fact that it is a woman who's older going with a younger guy is looked as being disgusting or a crater robber or some shit. So, you know, double standards all the way around. But like I said, I really don't give a fuck. I just saw the segment earlier today. Thought it was interesting. Letter from Allison. Allison says, when I first started listening to your show, I hated you. As I started to listen to you more and more, I realized that you really keep it real. However, you do go after the exes more than you do the Ys. What's up with that? Love your show. Well, thank you, Allison, and I'm glad you like me now. And I don't go. She's talking about the exes, going after the exes more than one. She's saying that I go after the women more than I do the men. And if you listen to my episodes, I'm not saying it's even. I'm not saying that, but it's not significantly skewed, you know. Of all my episodes, I got over 200 episodes. And it's pretty even. Maybe like 55% I go up to the X's, 45 to Y's, something like that. But it's not like 75, 80% going up to the X's and 20% to Y's. Come on now. You know, it's just, I don't even pay attention to who I'm going after. It's like I, determine what the topic is going to be and I talk about it. It could be an X topic. It could be a Y topic. It could be an X and Y topic. So I don't sit down and say, "Oh, tonight I'm going to go after the women," or "Tonight I'm going to go after the guys." No. I just choose a topic, and if sometimes it is what it is. Like tonight is more of an X and Y topic. So anyway, Thanks for the comment, Allison. I'm glad you like me now. And I do keep it real. So I'm going to jump into tonight's episode. Tonight's episode is, how long will you play the field? How long will you play the field? And when I say that, I'm talking about how long will you actually try to court? That's an old term for them old timers. How, for you new timers, how long will you be in a relationship? How long will you date? That's basically what I'm saying. Will you stop when you're in your late 20s, your late 30s, your late 40s, your late 50s? How long are you going to date? And you know, think about how I used to think when I was younger. I was thinking about getting married probably in my early 40s because I just want to give me time to fuck everybody. I wanted to fuck all the women. I still do. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just a fantasy of mine. But I just want to fuck all the women, as many as I can. You know, I just wanted all the pussy. I'm just being real. And that's what most guys want. Most guys want to fuck, right? They want to get as many women as they can before they get married. And, you know, thinking back on that, like, you know, I know now that was probably a bad decision to think that way because I wasted so much time. May have wasted too much time, you know, in finding the right one. And for a lot of reasons, you know. Now I'm older and it's going to be harder for me to compromise with another person now. You know, you're younger, it's easier to compromise, like little shit, like the AC setting. Little shit, right? You know, you like it at 70, 71, 72. She likes it at 75, 76. And you guys can compromise. Okay, we just keep it on 74 and blah, blah. Now, you know, it's like, no, we keeping it 71. Leave it alone. Shit. You know? That's just a little example. But, you know, what I'm saying is the older you get, the more you set in your ways. So it's harder to bring someone else in that changes shit, where you have to actually think about someone else, how someone else may feel. All because you wanted to play the field longer and get more pussy. And the same thing with the guys, the women. Women want to have fun as well. Matter of fact, women want to fuck more than men do. And they want to experience guys, you know, get fucked by different men and make sure they get all the fucking out of them before they say I do. There's no difference in women. They're actually more guilty. And a lot of women fall prey to that, you know, being out there playing the field too long. You know, you look around and you're in your mid-20s, you're in your prime, you know, everything come easy to you and you're still in good shape, got an 8-pack, you know, and just, and you look around, 10 years pass and 20 years, I mean, time is flying. I was looking at this old video of the early 90s, Drew Hill, last week, and it was called Sleeping in My Bed. And it seems like just yesterday that fucking video was out. It seems like just yesterday that video was out. It's amazing. That video came out damn near 30 years ago. 30 years, Drew Hill, Sleeping in My Bed. So time is passing. And during that time, I was doing some of my key fucking. So I wasn't about to get married then. But I brought that up because, time is passing. You look around, you're in your 20s, you looking around, you're in your 30s, the 40s, 50s, 60s. Then you look around, you're getting somebody that had to bathe your ass and wipe your ass and stuff. Our time on this earth is not long. When you really look at it, when you really sit down and look at it, a lot of people say you're middle-aged when you're 50. You're more like middle-aged when you're in your 30s, 30, 35. Most people die in their, mid-70s, early 80s. They don't die when they're 100. So if you're getting married at a later point in life, you're already losing valuable time. And that's what I know now. If I thought how I think now, I would have gotten married in my I would have gotten married probably when I was in the Navy. My early fucking 20s. Because, the later you wait, the more time you're wasting. The more time you're wasting to be with your family. The more time that you're wasting to start a family. The more time that you're wasting to see your grandkids and to be able to do things with them instead of just watching them play in the yard while you're in a wheelchair. The more things that you can do with your son, and you're still young, you can play basketball with him and still bowl and still do things with him. But if you're an older guy, there's a lot of shit you can't do anymore with your son. Time is of the essence. That's what a lot of people don't realize. You really don't have that much time. You really don't. So I asked the question again, how long will you play the field? How much pussy is enough? And I say that now because, I'm older and more wiser and know how the way that I've thought back in the day was bullshit. I should have been trying to fuck everybody. And same thing with women. A lot of women fall in that prey as well. They're trying to get different men and, experience different sizes and shit. And certain men eat pussy good and all that. And then the next thing they know, they're old. And then nobody's knocking on their door anymore. They're walking around with all, a lot of women still haven't figured out in their late 30s, early 40s that they don't have time to play around anymore. They should not be playing the field anymore. How much time will they waste? How much time will they waste in the risk of being alone? And that's what it's all about. And that goes for the guys too. How much time are you willing to waste? Or risk being, meeting someone later in life where you really, you're basically together just to die together. And that's something I really just don't want to do. That's so depressing. Now, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. There's some people that have found a second marriage, they've been married one time and then they're widowers and widows, and they found someone when they were older and, that kind of thing. I'm not tripping on that. I'm talking about someone who has never married before, never had kids, never had a family, and they're just meeting someone to marry at 65, 70. There's so much that you missed in life. And I don't give a fuck what nobody says. That shit is important. A lot of people say, they didn't have kids, but they still have it together. It's not that. No, that shit is important. How much time do they have together? If they get married at 65, 70, how much time do they have together? What can they do? I mean, a lot of people say they can travel. Yeah, really? Yeah, I guess they can. How much time do they have together? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. How much time are you willing to waste? When you ask yourself, how long you play the field? All that is how long are you willing to waste? How much time? And if I would have thought about that very question years ago, like I said, I would have got married in the Navy. My whole life would have been changed, because if I would have married in the Navy, I probably wouldn't have gone to Tuskegee. I wouldn't have, I'd have probably stayed in the Navy for 20 years. My whole life, I might not be sitting in this chair right now recording this episode. My whole life would have been changed. I would probably have kids, grandkids, I don't know. I was pretty young. So 20s, my oldest could have had kids by now, yeah. So I could have had kids, I could have had grandkids, I could have had a family, and still pretty young, and still able to fuck, and still, but I've accomplished so much. If I would have chose that route. But I chose the other route, right? I chose the route of, I don't want to get married now. It's too early. I'm too young to get married now. I want to fuck everybody. I got some more pussy to fuck. I'm trying to fuck everything that move. Old, young, fat, skinny, tall, short. And what is that worth? Now, if you're cool with that, then hey, more power to you. But thinking back on it, for me, I'm not cool with it. I fucked up. I made a big mistake. I sacrificed a lot of time. A lot of wasted time. A lot of wasted time that I sacrificed. So much things that I could have accomplished by now, as far as being in a family setting, that I sacrificed, all for playing the field, all for getting more pussy, the more pussy that I can. And a lot of guys fall prey to that. A lot of women fall prey. A lot of women that could have gotten married, they've been proposed to in their early 20s. They said no because they wanted to experience more dating, more guys in their lives. So they wasn't going to get tied down to one guy early. And they look around, now they're in their 40s, they're in their 50s. Now nobody trying to tie them down. And that's how you see all these beautiful women, fine women of all races walking around single. And you ask yourself, why? Man, nobody tried to get with her. Someone tried to get with her years ago, but she wanted to play the field a little longer. She wanted to waste time a little longer. That's all it is. When you're playing the field, all you're doing is wasting time. That's all you're doing. When you should get married probably in your at latest late 20s. And you can't fuck everything. Now I know that. I gave it a go. But you can't fuck everything. You can't get everybody. It's an idiot's. It's a fool's errand. You can't do it. It's the dumbest shit I ever. I'm thinking about it now. Like, damn, how was I so stupid? And I'm not saying that it's too late for me, but I'm just saying I've already sacrificed so much. I got friends now that got kids. They're done with college. The kids out and working and shit in college and in the army and shit. So they're done. And they're still young, still could travel, can do shit. You know, and there's a lot of shit that I haven't done as far as a family setting. And that's why I'm just saying that that's something that I know now that I fucked up. That was a mistake on my part. I admit it. I played the field too long. I wasted too much time. I should have got married. If I get married in the Navy, I should have damn sure got married early 30s, mid 30s. You know. But I'm still trying to fuck everything that move. All this good pussy. Now I was in Atlanta. I mean, I got weak for the hairy pussy. I was in Atlanta, and you know, Atlanta got all these women walking around. It's easy to get distracted. So that's all I'm saying. You know, it happens to both. It happens to the men and the women. Women waste a lot of time as well. And that's why a lot of women and men end up alone, never married, no kids. They pass on. They don't have anyone to lead their worldly things to. They never had kids, so they have to leave it to their nephews and nieces or some kind of dog foundation because they don't have anyone to leave it to. They don't have a family. They don't have anybody that, you know, that call them mom or dad, grandpa, granddad. They don't have anybody like that because they chose to play the field longer. They chose to waste time. That's all you're doing. So all the women that are listening to this show and you're getting up in age, you're maybe in your 30s, your 40s, and you with this motherfucker who's not talking about marriage, you would like to get married. You would like to get married one day, and he's not talking about it. You may want to consider dropping that motherfucker. How long will you play the field? How long will you play the field? How much more time will you waste? There's still time for you if you're in your 30s and even in your 40s. You still can have that family. But if you waste more time, soon as it'll be too late. Guys, the same shit. You know, you can have babies. Yeah, you can have babies old. You can be 60 years old and get somebody pregnant, but when the kid is graduating from high school, you're going to be damn near 80 years old. You're going to be 77, 78. People are going to think you the kid's grandfather. You his daddy. All the other fathers going to be walking on stage strong, and you're going to be up there with a cane, a wheelchair. This is the time to think about the decisions that you make. Time waits for no one. Yes, it's fun to date. It's fun to get different experiences from people that you meet. It's fun to get different types of pussy, hairy pussy, white, black, Hispanic, juicy. You know, you get the picture. It's fun. It's a nice thing to have variety for, you know, women too. You know, deal with different guys and tall and short, you know, handsome and different guys that they deal with. It's fun. You have a different variety that you have a choice. You're not tied down to anyone. But the other side of the coin, what are you sacrificing for that? Now, if you don't want a family, then I'm not talking to you. But for those of you who want a family, you have to think about what are you willing to sacrifice? How much time will you waste? How much time have you already wasted? How long will you play the field? Anyway, just something to think about. You know, a lot of women still walking around, I don't date this, I don't date that, I don't date this. And some of those parameters and, you know, requirements that women have, that some of that shit should be thrown out the window. And after a while, the only thing that they should be concerned about is he working? Does he have a dick? Does it work? Let's roll with it. Guys, the same shit. You know, women who look like Beyonce and Rihanna and all these women that you can't have, instead of getting a nice woman that is going to take care of you and that's going to have your back. You need to reevaluate, what do you want? What are your priorities? How much time are you willing to waste looking for this perfect woman? Anyway, something to think about for both the X and the Y's. How much time will you waste? How long will you play the field? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Be sure to check out any episodes that you may have missed on my website. I'm also on social media. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, and Instagram. So be sure to find me on any of those. Be sure to follow me. You can also, like I said, listen to past episodes. My website is www.thexyshow.com. You can find everything there. You can also leave me a note or a message and let me know how you're really feeling about me and my show. You can leave any constructive criticisms, or you can leave a comment, and I'll definitely try to read it and on the show and let you know that I am listening. I can't read everything, but I do read the comments that are sent to me. Really appreciate your support, and I will see you next week. And I want you always to remember, stop wasting time. Stop playing the field. You can't fuck everything. And also, you cannot have love or lust without X and Y. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.